Nicky, let's start, shall we, by talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and his future. 1 year left on his contract, and suggestions in the Italian media are that is it. He is done and dusted after that.
Yeah, well, we've had all different suggestions over the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you. There was a prolonged period when everyone seemed to be very certain that he was going to extend his contract. Personally, I've always been quite sceptical that either side really wants that. Juventus for financial reasons, Ronaldo because I think if there's anything else left that he wants to do in his career, he hasn't got so much time left to do it. So this is the time to move on. But I do think there's been a lot that's been said and speculated on that is slightly jumping the gun a bit because, of course, Ronaldo only got back to training today. So today was his first session back with Max Allegri, who, of course, was the manager when he first arrived, but hasn't been for the last 2 seasons. So I think much is still to be understood between those two before we really know what's happening in the future with Ronaldo.
You take a look at his stats for the Juventus, they're fantastic, Nicky, but just remind us how much he makes.
Oh, he makes an astonishing amount of money. I think it's about 30 million euros after tax, so it's a huge amount of money. He's easily the best paid player in Serie A. It's not close. The talk for extending his contract would be to reduce the yearly sum, but of course, by extending the contract, mean that he makes more in total. So if there was an extension, that's what Juventus would be looking for. But again, I'm not certain that either side really wants that.
From a football perspective, Nicky, does it make sense? If you're in charge, would you give him more years?
I think, again, without wanting to repeat myself, I do think that a lot of it comes down to Allegri. Juventus have made this move to try and play more attacking football with Maurizio Sarri, and it kind of worked. They won the league, but it didn't go the way they wanted it to, so they moved on from Sarri. They tried to start a new renovation under Andrea Pirlo, a new idea. We're going to start young and we're going to build something new, and it didn't work out. They didn't win the league. So they've come back to Allegri, and I think there's never been a time when Allegri has had more power than this over what happens next, especially with Fabio Paratici leaving the club as well. So the vision comes down to Allegri. Now, Allegri got good results out of Ronaldo when he was there the first time. They got plenty of goals, but there were issues. You know, he did have some team selection issues with Dybala in particular. Dybala, who'd done great with him the season before, he couldn't seem to fit into the team. He kept saying, look, Ronaldo needs Mandzukic. So I think until we see what Allegri does with this group, until we know whether Allegri is happy to push on and focus everything around Ronaldo again, or if he thinks that now he's coming back, he's going to try and do something with Dybala, do something different. I just think we don't know the answers to that until we've really seen Allegri settle back into this job and work with these players again.
If you were Allegri, Stevie, how hard would you push to get an extension to Ronaldo's contract?
That's a tough one because there's a huge difference between now and 12 months' time physically.
Right.
You know, things can go pretty quick. When you start getting past 35, things get harder, things go quicker, your stamina disappears, your balance leaves you. I mean, there's so many things can happen to his body in the next year. But the thing is, 36 goals and 5 assists.
Yeah.
You can't not respect that. And if somebody came to you and said, by the way, Allegri, I've got a guy who last year in Serie A scored 36 goals and had 5 assists in like 40-something games, are you interested? He'd take your hand off. So there's no question he absolutely deserves what he's getting right now for the next season coming.
Yeah.
But again, you have to look at it again in 12 months' time.
And he's not just going to be a year, Ali. He won't be happy with just a year extension. So that obviously plays into the hands of the negotiations. Does part of you think MLS?
Yes. But then part of me also says, in order for that to work, there's got to be a pay cut.
Sure.
Because $30 million after taxes, that's not in play. And
were you not on that at Chivas?
No, I was not. Not even close. Not even in Monopoly money was I close to that. Look, you push if you're Allegri, of course. But if you're Juventus and you're looking long term, you almost have to look past the 36 goals. You almost have to say to yourself, man, we cannot do a multi-year contract at this sort of money. it has to work financially for us, and there's got to be a major pay cut, and he's got to take a major hometown discount. And this is when I would address Ronaldo and address it directly with him. And from what we know of Ronaldo, does this look like a guy that would take a significant pay cut? I don't think so. And so at what point does he say to himself, you know what, I'm happy here, I like it here, let's make the numbers work? Or at what point does he say, hey, thank you, I scored my goals here, I'm going elsewhere because elsewhere I'm going to be appreciated more and I'm going to be paid more and it's going to be the sort of experience that I want? That's going to be more of a personal decision by Ronaldo than a decision by Juventus themselves.
Juventus can't really lose for me here, because if they don't offer him a contract, everybody understands why.
Right.
Ronaldo's the only person that doesn't understand why. And if he goes around this year again and scores 36 goals and 5 assists, then guess what? You give him another 30 million, give him a 12-month deal. And if he doesn't and he's injured, then you say, you know what? That 30 million, we can use it elsewhere. Thanks for your service, and move on.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.